Welcome to the latest version of the My Storeroom software. This software is produced by My Barcode Software and with complete consultation with our customers. Now, for those of you who have never seen the software before, we'll go through the main features of the software. But for our existing customers, we will also point out some of the latest features that we've implemented based on the various suggestions that have come in. Now, the first new feature is actually the login screen that you can see in front of you right now. The My Storeroom software now actually has a login and gives it a level of security, and it also has the ability to keep users in various portions of the software, which I will show a little bit later. So the first time you use the software, you simply need to have admin right here and leave the password blank and simply click login. And now this is the first main screen that you'll see within the software, and this is the quick start screen. And the quick start screen has been designed to get you started as quickly as possible. And there's two paths into starting the software. This is more of a manual path where you add the storerooms manually. You'll see two have been defined. You add the borrowers manually, you add various stock items, etc. The other way to do it is to use the import data function. You can use CSV files or you can use Excel files. And that's really all there is to setting up the software. At that point in time, then you're free to check items in, check items out, and you have a complete reporting ability and ability to export data. So let's go to the first screen, and that is the checkout screen. That's the other main screen of the software. And as in many screens within the My Barcode software suite of products, you will find that it is step-based. So you can see step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And you'll also see certain fields are highlighted. There are also help buttons, as many as we can provide to help our users understand what is going on. So step 1 is to scan or find the borrower. We'll find the borrower. And in this case, this is the quick find facility, so you can start typing here, and that list will automatically shorten based on whatever you type in. We're going to select David McDonald here, so I just double click, and lo and behold, up come his details, his name and his contact, and you'll also notice that he has various items already checked out, one item that's due fairly soon, and one item that has no due date. My second step is to select a storeroom. I'm kind of happy with the main storeroom. And then the step 3 is to either scan or select items to check out. I'll use the quick find again. And let's see here. I'm probably interested in checking out, let's see here, the camera headset. And I think I might also select this digital time display. Now, at any point in time, after I either barcode scan or do a quick find here, you'll see that it goes into the list below. If I get the quantity wrong, all I really need to do is double click the quantity here, and I can change it to whatever number I wish. Similarly, if I've decided I wanted a due date and forgot to put one in, I can click here and a due date will come up, and I can put that due date in right here. If I want the same due date for everything, I simply click that box and I use the pull down menu to put in whatever date I may so wish. I don't really want a due date at this point in time. I also have the ability to create a checkout receipt. So if I click this box before clicking finish checkout, I have the ability to provide a receipt to the user or to keep it myself. So I'm pretty happy with all that. So what I will do is I will click finish checkout, and lo and behold, 2 items have been checked out. So let's go to the next screen, the check-in screen, and we'll do a quick find again, and there's David again. We'll double click there, and lo and behold, we can see that the items he had checked out before and the items that we just checked out are all here. Okay, so step 2 is to select the storeroom. I'll just keep it at main storeroom at this point in time. And at that point in time, I can start scanning in the barcode, or I can use a shortcut. What I'll do is I will click this item here, and you'll see that the barcode's already shown up from that item, and I can simply click OK, and it goes into the list below. Now at any point in time I can unclick that if I've decided no, I don't really want to check it out, or I can hit the delete key and it'll go. But for the moment I'm pretty happy with that. Similarly, you can see again I can create a receipt, so if I click this before clicking finish check-in, a receipt will appear. But I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to click finish check-in, and lo and behold, that item has been checked back in. And that really is how simple it is to use this software. Let's go to the Stock tab. Now with the Stock tab, let me just make a little bit more room with this slider here. Now what is new to the software is the Quick Navigator. And the Quick Navigator has basically been set up to take a look at all of the items, but then to kind of segment the items. So you'll see down here I'm looking at all locations. I can look at everything I've got out there. So you'll see I have David McDonald has some stuff. There's some stuff in the backup storeroom, and there's some stuff in the main storeroom. Similarly, I can click borrowers. Now if I click a borrower who doesn't have anything, nothing will show up down here. But if I click David, lo and behold, everything that David has will show up. And it's a very quick way to see what people have, what gear, and similarly with the storerooms, what items are where. The other thing that the Quick Navigator is able to do is if you're looking through all of your locations here, so I'll notice I've got 2 items here. I want to move one of these items from the backup storeroom to the main storeroom. All I really need to do is select the item and then move it by dragging and dropping it onto main storeroom, and lo and behold, it then asks me how many do I want to move. In this case I only want to move 1. I'm feeling pretty good about that, and I just click move, and lo and behold, now I have 1 item in the backup storeroom and 1 of those items in the main storeroom. And I can move more than 1 item. If I hold down my shift key and move and drag and drop, I can move items back and forth. I can move items between borrowers or from borrower to a storeroom. So it's been designed to make it as absolutely simple as possible for you to correct any inaccuracies within your stock counts. Okay, you'll also notice the various buttons here. Now if I want to define an item, I can click add, and I get a blank screen up, and I can put in the barcode number and the description. I select a storeroom I first wanted to add it to. I can define custom fields. I can add an image of the item. We'll get into this in just the next screen in just a moment. I can put in the cost of the item. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make it a consumable item by clicking there, and I can put in various comments. What I will do, though, to show you some new functionality is we'll go to this right here. Now I can click here and then click edit, or I can simply double click and I get the edit screen. Now there's several nice features about the My Storeroom software. Now you notice this field 01 that I'm hovering over. If I double click right there, I basically get a screen saying, what do you want to call this field? And I say, I guess I want to call this field my retail price maybe, or even better, my SKU. I just put that in and I click save, and then from now on that will be that field, and every time I'm defining an item I can put that value there. Similarly, I can now put in an image, and all I really need to do is click right here, and I've already set it up in a folder called My Storeroom, a picture of a Dymo label printer. This is the label printer that works with this software, and I click open. Now this is quite a large image, but it naturally gets scaled to exactly the size. So that image will now follow this item around. Okay, well, I'm looking pretty happy with that. Notice too that I can take a look immediately at the entire history of this item. You can see it was added at one point in time, it's been moved, it's been checked out, it's been checked in, etc. So in one touch you get all of everything that has ever happened to this item. Similarly, I can delete various items. I can duplicate an item. So if I'm creating a lot of items that are very similar, I just click duplicate, and it'll bring it up exactly as it is, as the other one is defined, and then you just make the changes. Obviously, you need to do a different barcode. Similarly, with the stock. With the stock, I have the ability to receive stock, so I can stock comes in, I can receive it into the various storerooms. I have the ability to adjust stock quantities, just add one, subtract one, that sort of thing. And I also have the ability to move items. We've kept that functionality there, though it's a lot easier, as we talked about before, to just drag and drop it to the location. But we don't take away functionality from our customers. So let's go now to the borrower screen. Within the borrower screen, there haven't been a whole lot of changes here. You'll notice as I click, all of the details of all of the borrowers come up. I have the ability to add a borrower, edit a borrower's details, delete a borrower, or duplicate a borrower's details. And similarly with my storeroom, you'll see I have a couple of storerooms defined here. One of the more powerful features of the software is the import data screen. So what I can do is I can basically scan in a text file, and I'll go to a text file that I know is here. I'll scan in some inventory, and you'll notice that this text file automatically comes into the software. That's step one. I select the format. Is the first line of the file a header? Well, it clearly is, because it's put in the headers here. I select a default storeroom, just in case a storeroom hasn't been defined here. Put storeroom here, and then I select an import type. I'll say I'm doing a stock import, and you'll see that it's tried to match the fields here to the fields that are required within an import. And at that point in time, if I'm happy with all that, all I do is I click import, and it is just that quick to import that data into the database. Similarly, I can export data, and there's a number of export data formats that I can have. I can export just the item descriptions, the description of all the items. I can export all of the stock details, quantities, storerooms, and where all of these items are. I can export borrower details, storeroom details, etc. Or what's currently checked out. I'm going to want to export the current stock details, and they have come up in the bottom. And here are the various fields that have come up. If I don't want a field, I just say no selection in that field, and that will automatically, you'll notice that the barcode has fallen away. I'll have the description, now that's fallen away, etc. And when you're done, you simply click export. You can either export into the CSV format, or you can export directly into Excel format. Another powerful feature of the software is the reports, and with the reports you have a large number of reports that you can print. Why don't we just take a look at the currently checked out by borrower report. There's David again. He's got these following items checked out with the following due dates. I can also look at a history by date, and this is all the things that have happened today. There's been various items added and that sort of a thing. I can filter it by date, so if I click these items and select different dates, I can basically hone down my list until I'm looking at exactly what I want to. And once I'm happy with that, I can either print out the details to a printer, I can save it to a PDF image, or I can export it into a CSV or Excel file format. Finally, let's take a look at the administration screen. Now, in the administration screen, we have what is called an unattended mode. I'll get to that in just a moment. The newest item is the user's permission screen, and I'll bring that across. Now, what I've done is I've put in a user called Joe Blogs, and you'll notice that when I click any item, it'll show what permissions Joe Blogs have, and I'll just bring this down. So you'll see that Joe Blogs has the ability to go to the Checkout tab. He has the ability to go to the Check-in tab, but not to the Manage Stock, manage borrowers, manage storerooms, import or export data screen. He does have the ability, though, to do reports. So within this screen, you can add a brand new user, you can edit a user's detail, you can delete a user, and you can duplicate a user. So I'll double-click Joe Blogs, and you'll see here that if I want to add, okay, Joe, you can now export data, and you can now import data, and then click Save. Now Joe has the ability to do that sort of a thing. I can obviously also set the password at that point in time, or reset the password as I so wish. The final thing I'll show you is the unattended mode, and there are two unattended modes. One is used with a barcode scan sheet, and one is a completely unattended mode. For the sakes of this demonstration, I'll show this unattended mode. So essentially, this will be sitting on a screen, and you can run check-in and checkouts 24 hours a day. All they really need to do is select the borrower. The storeroom hopefully will already be set, and essentially at that point in time, they just start scanning barcodes. If they already have the item is checked in. If they do not have the item yet, the item is checked out. There's an unattended barcode sheet which will allow you to scan a barcode. So for example, I'm setting the quantity, or please check out, or please check in, or I'm changing my user ID, or I'm finished doing all of that, and they can print that at any point in time and use the barcode scanner to help tell the unattended module what it wants to do. And obviously there's a full log that can be printed at that point in time. Once this screen is exited, though, the software shuts down, so there's no ability to go back to the software for the users who are using it, the unattended module. That's a security precaution. So that basically covers what's new about the My Storeroom software. I urge you to have a download of the software and have a bit of a play with it, or please feel free to call any of our people and have a discussion about how this software may assist your organization. Thank you for your time.